So I was going to start off with an experiment, but it's too late for that. So let's just get started. So happiness. By show of hands, how many of us are happy right now? Alright, awesome. For those of you who didn't raise your hands, we got to change that, because happiness is one of the key points to life. And for those of you who don't think happiness is that important, you are totally wrong. I know how much happiness can change our lives because it's already changed mine. Believe it or not, the person who I am right now is not one single bit of what I was last year, freshman year. I was that one quiet kid in class who always kept to himself, and I was that one kid where if the teacher assigned partner activities, I would work alone. I was that one kid where if the teacher picked on me to answer a question, I would simply say, I don't know, because I was too afraid to trust my intelligence. I was that one kid, if someone tried to come up to talk to me, I would be so awkward to the point where they would ask themselves, why did I even come talk to this kid? I was one who lived in a dark, quiet, lonely world, but over time I fought with myself so much to the point where George couldn't take it anymore, so he became the person I wanted him to become. Each day I took a step further and further from my comfort zone and learned how to change my perspectives of the world and become happy with the everyday things that I did. And that turned me into the person who I am now. You guys might think, damn, this kid is so freaking weird. It's because I am. I wouldn't disagree with you. I wasted a whole year trying to fit in with the norm, but I learned my lesson from that and grew from it. And now I live as if each day were my last, trying to make someone else's day. And it's true, even ask Humberto, he's always telling me, dude, why? You always want to go out and do something. Just chill for once. But it's just the person I've become. Do any of you know the saying, be the reason why someone smiles today? Well, that's my goal every day. And if I can't do that, by the end of the day, I go up to my parents and tell them that I love them to see them smile. Because there's nothing better in the world than seeing someone smile because of you. I know we all have happiness within us, and we can find it just by trying and changing our perspectives of the world. Now, I want to enlighten you guys on how much of a huge role happiness plays in our lives. There has been an astonishing 200 scientific studies that around 275,000 people found people who start off happy are most likely to succeed, and people who start off unhappy are most likely to fail. Now, the consequences of not living a happy life is that you'll live in that sad, dark, lonely world. And trust me, you don't want to be there. You won't have many friends because of the way you act. People will have many negative impressions about you. And you won't be able to experience the awesome concepts that life has to offer. Happiness is something that can have the biggest impact in life you will ever go through. Yeah, even bigger than puberty. I've learned from Dan Gilbert in his TED Talk that we get, the science of happiness, that we get, that's like the middle of my speech.
Oh, it's so good. Do you think you could start off exactly from there tomorrow?
Just keep going and we'll be late.
That's the middle though. That's going to be 4 more
Just
minutes.
keep. Do you have another class?
Yes. Yes.
Pause.
So, do you mind if you start, but you got to get dressed up like that again.
I just put on
You look great.
Okay, so yesterday the bell cut me off, but I came back looking sharp again to hit you guys one more time. I've learned from Dan Gilbert in his TED Talk that the science of happiness, that we get happy every day, and many parts of the day. But did you guys know that there's 2 different types of happiness? There's a natural happiness, which is what we get when we get what we want, and there's a synthetic happiness, which is what we make when we don't get what we want. Now let's put happiness in 2%. 10% of your happiness is due to external circumstances, and the other 90% is based on your inner environment. 50% comes from your genes, and the other 40% is based on internal activities such as self-reflection, mindfulness, and gratitude. Some of us can do this better than others, and that is why we all have different happiness levels on different things. We are trained to be efficient and successful, but we are not given the skill to be happy. However, life can be very, very different than the way you are currently seeing it. Trying to become a happy person is very challenging because it takes a huge amount of patience. But what helps to keep in mind is that you have to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Each day you have to take the risk of losing yourself and giving up, but you'll never get anywhere in life by giving up. That is why that everyday step forward to the person who you will become is hard to achieve. However, by the time you get there, you won't even notice because you grow and develop from the person you're becoming. And once you look back, you realize you walked miles and miles away from the person who you were. Now, here are studies from an article, Positive Psychology and the Science of Happiness, show what happy people do in their life to balance out their happiness. The results were that there are 7 activities that they do to sustain it. Those activities are relationships, caring, exercise, flow, spiritual engagement and meaning, strengths and virtues, and positive mindset. Now, many of us experience the negative emotions in life, such as getting annoyed, mad, sad, lonely, or even depressed. Those are the obstacles that will come in your life and prevent you from being happy. But like Miss Martinez said in the beginning of the year, there's always obstacles in life and there's always a way to get through it. You either climb it, go underneath, or just go around. There's always a way. Now, the number one thing that will help you change into a happier person is by changing your perspectives of the world, which just means change the way you see things. There are 7 steps of how to achieve happiness, and I agree with these steps because I do this on an everyday basis. I believe we all have happiness within us, and we can find it just by digging deeper. And don't wait for happiness to come. Happiness is something that needs to be found, not something that just flies around waiting to be caught. So take that step forward and find your happiness. That will be the key to your success. Additionally, you will live a different life by being a happier person. Many people will have many positive impressions about you, and it will benefit you hugely in your social life with making friends, relationships, and positive thoughts. Finding happiness within yourself is the best thing you can do to your own mentality and to others too. By being a happier person and showing it off to the people around you, they'll be more attracted to you and would want to be around you more rather than someone who's boring and always unhappy. People prefer to be with someone who is always positive, always happy, and can make them laugh rather than someone who's always dragging them down. Now, here are some statistics of someone who is happy and someone who isn't. The research from Vadim Kotel in Happy versus Unhappy states that someone who is happy now enjoys every single moment of their life, and someone who isn't happy waits for something to happen in theirs. Don't be that unhappy person waiting for something in your life. Live your life while you have it. Live as if each day were your last. So if you're at home doing nothing, go do something that makes the day's worth. Something that will make you say at the end of the day, wow, I lived today. And if you found the happiness within you, don't just hold it in. Spread it with the world. People say it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Happiness is that light. It always seems to hit us like a bus. Some of us choose to hop on and some of us choose to get up and keep walking. If you choose to get up and keep walking, find a companion that's fun and talking. Because along the way, we discover something so extraordinary and fascinating and say, wow, how long have I been procrastinating? We have a choice, leave it or find it. And let me tell you, if you leave it, be ready for the count it. But if you find it, don't give up along the way. Because once you find your treasure, you really say yay. And do expect pleasure because we are powerful beyond measure. If you don't think you have it in you, get a better mirror, look a little closer, stare a little longer because we all have it in us. It's just in there hiding like pus from a pimple. Sometimes hard to get out, but when it's out, life is more simple. So the message that I leave you with is, don't listen to what other people say. Take a step in your own way. Happiness is a state of mind, so find that state and make some time. One day we leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. Thank you.